this is Ackley, SamAttack4427 here with a very special video for all of you guys, and, well, I don't know about you guys, but to me, I'm just absolutely excited. Like, really excited. Why, you may ask? Well, of course, given for the fact that I have this really nice Mario hat behind me, which is actually quite fitting in today's video, but it's mainly because of this. That's right. You can clearly see why I'm that excited.
Yep, after a long time of waiting, we are now getting ourselves treated to the brand new Super Mario Bros. Movie by both Illumination and Nintendo, which is out now as we speak, and boy, was it well worth the wait. For this to be made after years of development, studio changes, and even getting the right people to handle it, a lot of us were really getting ourselves hooked on ever since the trailers came out, despite mixed reactions on most of the casting, particularly Chris Pratt as Mario.
That's a go. No problem.
Yes! Get it off, get it off, get it off!
Woohoo!
Yeah, all of that.
But regardless, even from the trailers for it since they first came out, it has got us hooked on, and many of us who are fans of the games are really looking forward to seeing how all of it will go down. Even with me, I've been hooked on with Nintendo, especially Mario, for a long time, and for this to come out at perfect timing, where plenty of video game movies for the past few years are now considered good, it's saying a whole lot.
For while that is the main case, it did get me into thinking on something that did intrigue me a bit. That being, well, for while I'm excited to see that film, it's not the first time the famous Italian plumber who saves a princess from the Mushroom Kingdom from the King of the Koopas made it to the big screen. With one of them I'm talking about here today, which is of course the Super Mario Bros. Movie from 1993.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about here today. The Super Mario Bros. Movie, released back in 1993, got its start back then, beginning the trend of movies based on video games, but when it first came out, it was a critical and box office bomb upon its release, causing it to disappear rather quickly. But over the years since it came out, it ended up receiving a cult following from a lot of people who viewed this movie, putting it alongside so many of those so bad it's good movies. Similar to films like The Room, Troll 2, The Happening, Sharknado, and that's to name a few. And to be honest, in all of my years producing content and even reviewing movies, I never talked about this one in particular.
Part of the reason why is because, well, over the past several years, everyone has done it. Yeah, no jokes, huh? So yeah, my reason why I didn't talk about this movie is because a lot of people have already talked about this movie. You name it, the nostalgia critic, James Rolfe of Cinemassacre, gaming historian, CinemaSins, Honest Trailers, again, that's to name a few. But because of the new one officially out, I think it makes sense to finally talk about it for myself.
That's right, even though I'm looking forward to seeing what the new movie will have to offer, I think it makes sense to finally talk about this movie for myself, just to see how it holds up in my part, and see if a lot of people are right in loving this movie despite how bad it is. Analyzing how and why it didn't work, and most importantly, why it deserves the cult following it's got over the past 3 decades. It's saying a whole lot, but given for the past analysis videos I've done over the years, I can give what I can give for my own take as a whole. And before you ask, yes, I am fully aware of the other Mario movie that came before this one, which is The Great Mission to Rescue Princess Peach, which I won't lie, would be interesting to talk about as well, but I'll save it for another video for another time. But still, would be nice to review one day. Comment down below if you want me to review this Super Mario movie later! But still, I'll keep all my focus on the one from the 90s and see how it holds up.
So with that being said, we might as well take a look back at this film and see for ourselves. Which is what you expect from these videos, but hey, gotta do something to tie into the new movie, because if it isn't, I don't know what will. So, but anyways, let's go and take a look. Yeah, that pun was incredibly stupid. I'm so sorry for that.
Now for starters, we might as well start with the story for this movie. Now for this to be based around the Mario games, you expect it to follow through on the original games that it's based on. But instead, we've got a different plot altogether. After a meteorite crash landed onto Earth 65 million years ago, it didn't kill the dinosaurs, and instead created a parallel dimension where the dinosaurs survived and evolved into human beings as opposed from being evolved from monkeys and apes. We then jump many years later as Mario and Luigi, played by Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, both Italian plumbers living in Brooklyn, as they meet Princess Daisy, played by Samantha Mathis. But while digging around and Daisy gets captured by Iggy and Spike, Mario and Luigi go off to save her, only to find themselves in the parallel dimension named Dino Hatton, ruled over by the evil Bowser, or in this case, King Koopa, played by Dennis Hopper, whose plan is to merge the two dimensions so that he can rule both worlds by using the meteorite fragment that Princess Daisy keeps around. So now it's up to both brothers to band together and save the princess and defeat King Koopa.
Now for a premise for a movie as that, what's the best way to describe it? Excuse me for a moment, just so that I can think this over. Okay, I think I've got everything taken care of, so we can now go ahead and describe it in full-on detail.
Now to be a little fair, the idea of a game about an Italian plumber, or in this case, two Italian plumbers being at the Mushroom Kingdom to rescue a princess from an evil lizard, does have a lot of possibilities. Even in later games that explored this idea and took it to another level, not everything can be done the same way. You can add a lot more variety to it, which makes each installment, depending on which game console you have, feel very inventive. So in the case of the movie, I can give it credit that it wants to do its own thing and tell its own story, which is quite interesting, but at the same time, it does take liberties to add in stuff that has nothing to do with the games, like, at all. Like, take for example at the opening logos when they played the traditional Mario music like in the games. You already think to yourself while watching it,
alright, now we're talking! This is gonna be just like the game! Yeah, that feeling, which is quite nice, but then a few seconds later, they gave us this!
A long time ago, the Earth was ruled by dinosaurs. They were big, so not a lot of people went around hassling them.
You know, it just don't get no better than this.
Then something happened. A giant meteorite struck the Earth. Goodbye, dinosaurs. But what if the dinosaurs weren't all destroyed? What if the impact of that meteorite created a parallel dimension where the dinosaurs continue to thrive and evolve into intelligent, vicious, aggressive beings? And hey, what if they found a way back?
Did I put in the right movie? Because I'm starting to realize that this movie is gonna blow big time. Yeah, I guess give it to my reaction. You see where I'm getting at here?
yep, literally at the opening sequence right here, it does start to drive itself away from what we were expecting for sure. Though, given to the dingo picture style of graphics we're seeing here, it's not saying a whole lot. However, I do admire they brought in Homer Simpson to narrate this bit. I'm not joking. But as the film goes on, again, I'll give it credit, despite going the same way as what we saw earlier in being nothing like the game, it does have some stuff in it that is quite nice. One good example is that despite the criticisms on the casting in this, I'll say Mario and Luigi are not that bad to me. John Leguizamo isn't that bad as Luigi, and I think he does do a decent job here. which is saying a whole lot because compared to him now as a very talented actor, he has been the subject of someone that nobody can think of or do with, trying to push his name out in other projects like not just this, but also in Tu Wong Fu, Spawn, Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet, and even when he's in a comedy playing a man with part of his name having the word pest in it.
Yeah. Good luck roping around that pun.
But regardless, I don't think he's that bad as Luigi. I really like some of his delivery and his performance in a good number of scenes he's in. Plus, I really do admire the nice chemistry between him and Princess Daisy, which is quite nice, and I do picture them getting together. Which is quite interesting to note, seeing on how Leguizamo and Princess Daisy actress Samantha Mathis did date during the movie's production, which is very sweet, I won't lie. As for Bob Hoskins as Mario, again, I think he's not that bad and did a decent attempt at playing Mario. Part of that may come into the fact that for while it is interesting to watch, I get less of Mario out of him and more of Eddie from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Comparing to those two, Hoskins was amazing in the latter and it is well worth checking out. So I can give credit to Hoskins in this movie for trying his best, and well, it's no big surprise that he hated his time with the movie, especially the movie itself, calling it a nightmare. Even he and Leguizamo always had to drink scotch on set while making it. But I can give the two credit for having some pretty good chemistry together, though based on what I'm seeing, it's more of a father and son relationship as opposed to brothers. And let's not forget, the one thing that I can give credit is that much like the games, they did showcase the two as plumbers. It may be pushing that way too hard, but I can give it credit for including that in and getting that part right.
But that's not the only thing given to those two, because in one moment in the movie, well, it may sound stupid, and trust me, it kinda is, but it is fascinating at the same time, which is, well, we get to see what Mario and Luigi's last names are.
Name?
Mario.
Last name?
Mario.
Luigi Luigi?
No, Luigi Mario. It's Mario Mario and Luigi Mario.
Yeah, sounds so stupid and doesn't make any sense, but I don't think it's meant to make sense either. Though yeah, I guess it is quite surprising that Mario and Luigi's last name are Mario. Yeah, Mario and Luigi Mario. Now I'm gonna have a hard time roping around that for sure.
Speaking about what I said earlier about Princess Daisy, that's one other thing I should address. Sure, they couldn't go for Princess Peach, or in this case, Princess Toadstool around this time, but much like what I said earlier, I really do admire the interesting romance they've given to her and Luigi. It wasn't clear that well since it's Luigi who gets the girl and not Mario, but the movie makes it a whole lot more sense. And to her credit, I do think Samantha Mathis does give it her all on here. She does have her moments of being the damsel in distress that our heroes have to go and rescue, but she does have some fine development which hardly explains a whole lot. Okay, not much, but still gives some likability to her character. Then is, of course, the main villain of the movie, Dennis Hopper as King Koopa. Now I guess it's no big surprise that for this being a live-action adaptation, we were expecting an interesting take on the villain of the game, Bowser. Which, yeah, is what I was hoping for, but the movie, however, just referred to him as Koopa, and, well, from the looks of it, he seems to be less of the King of the Koopas and more of Donald Trump from him.
Though, given to the current status of Donald Trump as of now, it's not saying a whole lot. So if that's the case, why wasn't he a reptile instead of a human?
Well, the movie did explain that he is, as he's the descendant of the T-Rex, and right around at the end of the film, he does de-evolve back into a T-Rex by the Mario Brothers by a couple of de-evolve guns. If you look closely, they're made out of SNES Super Scopes painted over, which, I won't lie, is a clever Easter egg.
However, I will say, given to all that, Dennis Hopper does give out an interesting style to his performance in this movie. Why is that? Well, it's like he walked in onto the set and think to himself, well, might as well try my best not to act today. which does work in some way.
I'm not joking when I say that his performance in this movie is something to behold. It is bad, yes, but it does give off some memorable moments in here that does work.
Such as this, and this,
See you later, alligator.
and the internet crowd favorite.
Monkey.
Yep, this is why you can admire Dennis Hopper in this movie despite his terrible acting. It's so bad, but it's probably the best part in the flick.
However, there are parts in this movie where his acting is fully bad. For example, there's this running joke where he's ordering a pizza, but the way they dig it is trying to be funny, but clearly doesn't.
I'd like the Koopa special.
Pterodactyl tail on that?
Yes. Dino, lizard, hold a mammal, no worms, and, spicy.
Okay, I don't get it.
Prepare for destiny! Where's my pizza?
Okay, don't get that one either.
Sir, your pizza's here.
Not now. Looks like I win.
And you completely lost me on that joke, which altogether is, well, not funny.
But either way, given to all of that, those performances, I have to say, are not that bad, and I do give them credit for giving their all. It could have been done better, but it's quite interesting to witness at the same time. However, if there's anything that I do really admire in this film, it's a really great, while at the same time, overusage of visuals and the effects. For one thing, most of the CG used for most of the effects, such as Koopa's de-evolving stage, the teleporting, and everything else, despite being weird and everything else, does help the enjoyability of this movie. Not to mention the entire world this movie takes place in, they really push hard on the massive amount of fungus, which, yeah, a whole lot that I can see, but it's a clever way to blend in with the film's surroundings. Speaking of which, another thing that I should admire in this film is that the entire world where parts of it takes place in looks impressive. The way they showcase dino hatting is very impressive, and I love the sense of creativity they put into that. Which is quite interesting to note because parts of the film where they shot it at to create this world at an abandoned cement factory in Wilmington, North Carolina, where they also shot The Crow and the Ninja Turtles movie both in the 90s, but also brought in David L. Snyder, who was the art director on Blade Runner, to design this world. Which is very interesting to know, and given to all of that, it's not bad, but they really push hard on the dinosaur stuff in this movie.
Though to be fair, seeing on how it was released in the 90s, believe it or not, dinosaurs were a huge deal around that decade.
And it was a huge deal around that time, with shows and movies such as Dinosaurs, Adventures in Dinosaur City, Land of the Lost, and the majority of the Land Before Time movies, just to name a few. Hell, even Barney, fucking Barney, of all things, was popular during the 90s.
So part of me did get confused on how dinosaurs would be a good fit in this movie, but when you get the basics down, it does make a whole lot more sense.
And let's not forget that after the Mario movie came out, Jurassic Park was released to much greater acclaim. That film, alongside its sequel, The Lost World, really does showcase on how dinosaurs can be portrayed on the big screen, which makes them very incredible to watch. So I guess for this movie, they really push hard to make it part of the movie, with the closest being Yoshi, which I won't lie, is an interesting effect and is quite adorable to look at. But other than that, it seems like they have no part in the game, so why add that in and make it the main focus?
Well, I guess it's quite obvious that's put in by the film's directors.
Now, around the time the movie was about to get underway, the directors of the film, Rocky Morton and Annabelle Jankel, weren't impressed with the previous scripts that were pitched around the time the film was getting underway, which does closely resemble the games at first. Not only that, but seeing on how they're well known for creating Max Headroom, as well as directing a bunch of music videos and the movie DOA, my guess is that they wanted a different approach for the movie just to make it a whole lot more darker. It's almost like, given to all of that, they didn't even know about the original source material while making this, and hence why the film was so bad when it came out, it ended their directing careers entirely.
And that's why some products turned out crappy that doesn't tie into the original source material, much like another abomination I know of. But other than that, going back onto the positives, what are some things that does closely resemble the game?
Well, for one thing, despite being incredibly different, the Goombas are quite nice and have some interesting changes, and I even do admire that they brought in voice actor Frank Welker to voice them, which is sweet. They've even thrown in some nice references to a few good parts in the movie that were from the game, like having a human character named Toad, the rocket boots done by a company named Thwomp, similar to one of the enemies in the games, having two other characters named Iggy and Spike, despite being like the burglars in Home Alone, having most of the items feature like a bomb and bullet bills, as well as having a character named Big Bertha, referencing the fish enemy in the game, again, just to name a few. Though, I will admit, this shot right here does...
Yeah, I have no word on that, it's just... ew.
But either way, I do think it's quite nice to have them featured in, which is far different than what we've got. But still, it doesn't deny for the fact that it did leave plenty of fans, let alone Nintendo, disappointed for sure. Clearly, what they have showcased pretty much has nothing to do with the game it's based on. Hell, maybe with the right amount of treatment, we would have gotten a much better movie entirely. But what we got instead is this, which is one of many reasons on why this movie bombed big time upon its release. Plus, the marketing and stuff does have some early promise. And I'm not referring to the I Got the Power trailer, which was the first sign of things to come, but more on the This Ain't No Game trailer, which has a lot of promise.
We're going in.
Where's the rock?
The plumbers took it.
Plumbers.
It didn't look like what we wanted, but it looks cool regardless. Also, the parts in the end where they teased a sequel is something we can see from a mile away, but we knew it won't happen despite what goes on.
But yeah, given to all that, it's pretty much what I can say for this movie, and if I were to give my own take on it, yeah, it's bad, but I can't help but enjoy it regardless.
As a movie on its own, it clearly doesn't work and has nothing to do with the games it's based on, and if Nintendo would have gained a whole lot more creative control, we would have gotten a much better movie all around. But because of how poorly the movie did, it scarred Nintendo so much for 3 whole decades since then. However, at the same time, I really do admire on how amazing despite how terrible this movie is. Some of the moments in it does work, and I couldn't help but find myself having a good time. And I do have a full understanding on why it has that cult following it deserves. It's similar to other films I enjoy despite how bad they are, such as Jim Carrey in The Grinch or Space Jam: A New Legacy. The movies that I've seen over the years where I know they're bad, but have some legendary moments that are so good, I can't help but enjoy them despite how bad they are. So thankfully, I can say the same thing for this movie. It's bad for what it is, but I do find myself enjoying it regardless.
So given to all that, and 30 years since, Nintendo found the courage to try again, and is what we were hoping for. And thankfully, it came out at perfect timing.
Since then, as of 2019, thanks to the release of movies such as Detective Pikachu and the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, with the exception of the Angry Birds Movie 2, the 2021 Mortal Kombat reboot, Uncharted, and more, including TV shows such as Halo on Paramount Plus and The Last of Us on HBO Max, they've all proved that movies and TV shows based around video games can be good with the right people and ideas to helm the project. which thankfully did result in some really great ones that we couldn't miss, both for fans of the games and regular moviegoers. So chances are, if I'm correct, seems like the new Super Mario Bros. Movie will join in on this ongoing trend. But until then, we'll still admire the 1993 Mario Bros. Movie for what it is, despite how terrible it is. It's a time capsule that's damaged for what it is, but still a lovely time capsule nonetheless.
And, well, to take note on my Thomas and the Magic Railroad videos that I did, what else can you say except...
Trust the fungus.
Yep, that pretty much speaks for itself.
And on that thought, that pretty much takes care of that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest video, and let me know in the comment section below on what you thought about the 1993 Super Mario Bros. Movie. I would love to know what you guys think. So yeah, but until then, thank you guys so much for watching this latest video, and well, now that I've got that out of the way, I might as well get myself in to see the new Mario movie now that I've got my trusty Mario hat on me, which I absolutely can't wait. But beforehand, I might as well get into one of my cosplays based on another video game. Excuse me for 1 second. Ah, yes, there we go, yeah. Whew, man, feels good to actually be in this cosplay for once. And it is actually quite fitting the more I think about it, because, well, we're actually making the transition from, of course, talking about a movie based on a video game to, of course, having me cosplay as someone from a video game that's going to some place devoted to comic books next weekend. So yeah, and in case you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, I'm going to be coming back to Heroes and Villains Con this year.
This here is a local comic book convention right in Cortland, New York, done by the people behind the comic book shop the convention is named after, that they've been going at since 2016. I always loved going there since the beginning, and since then, it's gotten much bigger, and I'm excited to come back. This year's convention will be taking place at the Cortland Corset Building in Cortland, New York, which thankfully is local to where I live, this time on Saturday, April 15th from 11 a.m. all the way until 4:30 p.m.
And I'll be cosplaying as Barbara from Genshin Impact as a ballerina, and I'll be giving away business cards to advertise my YouTube channel, So yeah, if you see me at the con coming up, then please come on up to me and say hi. With the guarantee that I'll be dancing ballet in this cosplay, of course.
I'll be sure to have a promo video up on my second channel, SamAttack4427TheThomasFan1 Productions, sometime next week beforehand for you to check out. But until then, go to the heroesandvillainscon.webs.com, as well as follow Heroes and Villains' social media for more information on the con coming up.
Again, thank you so much for all watching this video, and I can't wait to see all of you there. So yeah, until then, I'll see you in the next video. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I might as well dance my way out of here. So yeah, take care, guys.
Hey guys, this is Ackley, Attack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications, and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427TheThomasFan1 Productions, for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more, in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and showing support to me on both of my wish lists on Amazon and Right Stuff Anime, and even supporting me with my link on Streamlabs that you can find on my Twitch page. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.